So this is going to be fun. A little bit too far. Oh, it's captive. Nice. Yeah, not a whole lot. Nice, I like it. Threaded side. At least this one I can. Since I just put it on there, I'm going to go ahead and clean off all my monkey grease. It's a nice degreaser. I don't want that to burn in there the first time I start it up. Start putting the bike back together. Radiator is full. Do not start the bike without this crossbar being in place. That would be very, very bad. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in, do the initial torque down on it, probably put the tank back on, start it up, let it run until it gets all the way up to temperature, and then I'll check this again tomorrow after it cools down. Yeah, do not run the bike without the frame being completely on there. That would be very, very bad. These rear ones from the factory do have thread lock on them. So I will be cleaning that and putting thread lock back on them. Go get something to hold the other side because it's going to start turning. No? Didn't turn. I'm shocked. Okay, under here is the fuel. Right, so this goes here, goes up under like that. You need to make sure that it gets routed under here, right? Because if you don't want it to be here because then it'll get smashed. I have still always found it easier to pull this off of here than it is to pull it off from the tank. So this is usually what I do. And then when I get the tank here and I set it down, then I reconnect this. And then after I get that reconnected, then I'll pull this down and get the fuel connected there. So there is actually a special tool that's supposed to be used to reach up underneath here and clip these. I haven't bought it. I don't know. One of these days maybe I will. And then this connects to the fuel pump. So this is the main power to the fuel pump. This would have been way easier if I would have done this with an empty tank. Of course I didn't. If you don't hear it click, it's not locked. There we go. Yeah, if you don't hear it click, it's definitely not locked. You should be able to try to pull down with it, and it should not come down. So make sure that hose is still routed right. Yep, it's still routed right. Make sure you hook up the vent lines and the overflow. Very important. I actually find it's a little easier to do before you bolt down the tank because you can use the tank's weight to push down on them. Yeah, and then when you move it back and forth, it shouldn't move. Now don't forget, there's a little rubber cover here, but you need to lift that up because there's 2 more bolts up here. I did that once. Not on this bike, on a different bike. There's almost always 4 to hold down the tank. Let me hook up that fuel before I forget about it. That would be very, very bad. This also should click. I don't know if you heard that, but it had a very positive click. So these bolts that hold the tank down are like 18 foot-pounds. Again, not a lot of torque. First start, I just reconnected the battery. Still don't have the seat or anything on yet. Now because we had the fuel tank off, I'm going to actually charge it twice. Make sure it sounds like it's full of fuel. And then look around and make sure you don't see any drips or leaks, because that could ruin your day. I don't see anything. So, bike is in neutral. Let's give it a try. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, this is going to be burning off some of that grease I put in there to lube things up to make it easier to slide those pipes on. And that's totally okay. We don't really care about that. It's going to boil off. What we want to watch is the radiator. Make sure we don't have any leaks and exhaust leaks. So we're going to be watching the temperature up here. I want to see it get up to 206, have that fan come on, and then cool all the way back down. That's what I'm looking for. So another thing I'm looking for here is the cylinder temperature. 153, 148. You don't want them to be like 80 degrees apart from each other. Same thing with the exhaust. Exhaust should be up in the 400 range. Depends on where my little dot is. 460. Good thing here. If one of them starts climbing to like 600, that means you got an obstruction in there somewhere. You got something wrong. You definitely want to shut it off. There it goes. Running. Lights down to 204. 201. 199. And it kicked off. Perfect. So what we saw there was 2016 Scout start. Let it idle till the temperature got all the way up to 206. That's when the fan kicked in exactly on time. Temperature came down to 199 within about 30 seconds, and then the fan cut off. That's exactly the behavior that you want to see. So at 199 the fan goes off, 206 it comes back on. So that's perfect. So now you should also check underneath the bike. If you overfilled the coolant tank, as the bike got hot, it will overflow. There's an overflow in the back of there. I learned that from the other bike. This one though, I was very careful. I did not overfill it. But tomorrow I will want to basically pick the tank up, pull off that side rail, take the radiator cap off, and make sure that there is no air trapped in there. There shouldn't be. I mean, I was pretty careful with it, but just in case, right? So I am pretty happy. Successful evening, and it's only 9 o'clock. I'm done early. Hope wherever you are, you had a good day. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. Thank you. Bye.